Day 14, I'm going to leave the hotel and I'm going to crack on, see how my blister goes. On my blister, basically there's two patches with raw skin. One has completely crusted over, but it seems like it's going to be very easy to crack and reopen. The other one is still open, so I've put a wet dressing on it, a load of iodine cream, a load of gauze, taped it all up, so hopefully the gauze isn't going to stick to the new skin that's growing while I'm walking. It's going to be moving, obviously, hopefully it'll be okay. I will, if I have time and if there's a good place, I'm going to check it halfway just to make sure it's all good, clean it up. I've got 29k to the next hotel today. It's a little bit later than I planned. It is 20 to 10 here, so it's probably going to be dark when I get there. I don't plan to run today. I plan to just take it really easy, and yeah, so it's going to be, might probably get dark. I don't want to rush, so I just want to get going right now as soon as possible, and just walk pretty slowly all the way there, see how it gets on. This is it, yeah, finally. I think it's about time that I leave. I was going a bit stir crazy, watching loads of YouTube videos. There's only so much you can watch. I feel like I've seen all of YouTube. I just think it's time to go. So this is it, finally leaving the hotel room. My bill in the end was something like £130 for 4 nights. It was all right, it was all accurate. I checked the bill, it was I think £15 a night, something like £13 a night, but basically my food bill was almost as much as the room bill. The foods I had, each dish was basically £1. Most of the dishes were £1. For each meal I probably have 2 or 3 dishes. Try to eat as much as I can, get all the nutrients in, but I ate a lot. I feel very well rested, very well recovered, and ready to go. Hopefully my foot will hold out. Just coming out of the village where I stayed, I spoke to a shopkeeper who said that about half an hour ago, the way that she put it, some people like you passed on bicycles. I asked if she meant English. She said, yeah, maybe. I presume she meant just white people, non-Nepali people. And so that's the first kind of, I haven't seen them around, but that's the first kind of contact of anyone that's not Nepali here. I wonder if, they're on bikes, so obviously I can't catch up with them, but maybe if they've gone and stopped or doing a loop and coming back or whatever, maybe I'll bump into them in a bit. It's been about an hour into today. So far so good. My feet feel okay. Obviously not perfect. I can still feel a little bit of pain. I can feel the plaster that I used to wrap up everything. But it feels better than it does before I got to the hotel last night. It felt like a big blister, and the whole area was just red and infected. So every single step felt really painful. Right now, it feels more like a comfort issue rather than a pain issue. I'm trying to be really careful how I step. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on it, so my gait is kind of different to what I'm used to. So that's going to ask more of certain muscles. So I need to watch for that as well. So today, so far, so good. I feel good. I feel like I'm enjoying today. It doesn't feel like a slog or anything like that. I'm relaxed. I'm well rested. Going through countryside again, off the highway, and back to enjoying it. I got into the habit of whenever I stop at, or whenever I go past a little shop type place, of getting a bottle of their version of a Sprite or a Fanta, something like that. In a lot of places it's actually cold. In some they just don't have it because they don't have electricity, don't have a fridge. I think in some places they have a fridge that works on solar. It's got sugar, gives me a bit of energy, electrolytes, that combined with the salt that I put into my water, that's all the electrolytes that I need, and it's just a nice little rest. It's giving some money to the local people, and it comes in a glass bottle, so it's not using plastic. They reuse all the glass bottles, they all get recleaned, they all get cleaned and reused, so I'm finding that works pretty well. I seem to have a little bit of a fan club.
I have experience.
This bridge that I'm crossing now, I'm kind of lucky to have this bridge, because my original route that I planned from back in the UK had me cross the river a little bit further that way, and and I don't know if you can make it out, but there's a bridge there that looked like there was a bridge there, or they started building it, or so on the map it looked like there was a route across the river over there, but on satellite view I didn't see any bridge, but I kind of hoped for the best. On satellite view I saw something in the opposite direction, it just looked like a shallow part of the river, but actually, as it goes, not on the map and not on satellite view, but this quite new, quite fancy looking bridge. So I was kind of thinking about this crossing all day, not knowing how easy it's going to be to cross the river, but in the end, pretty easy. They're still building the bridge, so maybe if I left a few weeks earlier, it would have been difficult to get across the river, but as it is, pretty easy. Since I started doing these videos, it's been a lot of my face and what I'm thinking, what I'm up to, that kind of thing, and not too much of Nepal. So I'm just passing a really typical village at the moment, so I thought I'd just show you the view. I've passed so many of these kinds of villages along my way so far. This is totally typical. I feel pretty uncomfortable kind of just going into a village and just taking photos here and there. Obviously, but it tends to be the case that as I come into a village, everyone kind of, like in a TV program or film, just stops doing what they're doing. Like one of those scenes when someone walks into a bar in a Western and everything stops, the music stops. It's kind of like that. You walk into a village and everything just stops, everyone looks at me, and everyone kind of just keeps staring at me as I walk through the village and as I exit. Sometimes some kids say something in English. Sometimes someone kind of says, come over here, sit down, have a rest, water, that kind of thing. It's all friendly. Obviously, they're just not used to seeing tourists here. So I just took, in this particular village, I couldn't see many people from the road, so I kind of just took the opportunity to shoot a little bit of video to show you what it's like. I've just spotted loads of monkeys around here. Don't know if you can see it on the video at all, but they're all up and trees. A little bit of off-road cooking. I had to cross a river just then, and with my bandaged foot I was really reluctant to just take my shoes off, wade through. Obviously I can get to the other end and I can sit down, I can fully disinfect it, all that kind of stuff, but even just getting in the river, even for that moment, totally open to germs and infection. So I waited around for a little while because I noticed a load of tuk-tuks coming the other way. And I thought, well, there must be something going in my way quite soon. And along came a tractor with loads of rocks in the back. I signalled if he could help, got in the back with all the rocks, crossed the river, and then I was kind of like, okay, thank you, I'm gonna get out now. And they were like, no, don't be silly. I guess they were just being polite. They were just kind of like, no, we'll take you to the next village, kind of thing. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I'm trying to run. The whole thing's got to be on foot. I have, I don't want to, even little bits. I don't want to rely on any transport. I do want to do the whole thing on foot. But they didn't, they didn't understand. So I was kind of like, no, stop. So we only drove kind of, 20, 30 meters after the bridge. So I just started getting up, and they were like, oh, okay. Stopped the tractor, jumped out. All good. Little foot update after today. I did 32 kilometers today, and my foot is no worse, so it seems like a good sign. It was really hot today. Again, I expected it to get a bit worse, to get kind of swollen up, maybe to crack again, but it wasn't. It was fine. I went really slowly. I didn't do my shoes up very tight to let the blood get in there and a bit of air. I aired them out a little bit, at one point. I didn't change my socks or anything like that. I didn't change the dressing because it was really dusty everywhere I was today, so I really didn't want to open it up and start looking at it. I just thought best to just leave it closed up and get to the hotel. The hotel is basic. The toilets and the washing area is at the other end of the hotel. Been difficult to kind of keep it clean today, but I did the best I can, and I'm going to let it dry overnight, which is the advice I was given. It seemed to work last night. So it's 8 o'clock now. No, it's not. It's 8:45. I'm going to go to sleep soon, get as much rest as I can. Obviously, sleep is going to be really good for my foot and my energy for tomorrow. 32k today. Tomorrow is probably going to be around 22. Hopefully, I will get a chance to leave early. I'm gonna try that if I wake up when it's not too hot, and then basically find somewhere in the middle of the day to just rest up for a couple of hours, take my shoes off, that kind of thing, in the hottest sun, and split the day up into 2 halves like that. Hopefully my foot will kind of recover in the middle of the day, and I'll see how it goes. A little bit of an experiment, see how my feet react to that. Again, my feet, the heat is really getting to my feet. Even the main blister aside, the other areas that were blistering before, they're kind of just doing it again now. And it's not too bad. It's under control, and I can tape it up and that kind of thing. But it's not ideal. And it's just something that after probably about 25k starts to become a bit of an issue. And the pain is there, and my gait changes, and not ideal. Anyway, so good night's rest today. See how tomorrow goes.